Welcome to another edition of Flex Rental Solutions how-to video. Today we're going to be going over the ability to add minimum hours to our pricing tiers. Earlier in our webinar series we learned about how to create different pricing models, one of those being a pricing tier. To get back to this configuration area, you go to System Settings, Pricing Models. And in our demo system today, we are going to continue on our hourly tiered area. On our pricing tier, you'll see that we've created three tiers. One for straight time, one for overtime, and one for double time. If we open up our straight time, you'll see that on our formula calculation, we can go in there and configure a minimum time quantity for this specific tier. So if we place this at 0 minimum time and we go to a quote that we've created, we have this forklift rental operator, or let's go to graphics operator. Right now, this job has defaulted to a day rate, and if I select hourly tiered, you'll see that the call time that we have defaulted for this job is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and the straight time that it's calculating is at a quantity of 2. And it looks like we don't have a base rate for this labor tier. So it's based off of hourly rate. So if we put in that we charge $60 an hour for this graphics operator, let's go back to this call time. And now when we add our graphics operator for a 2-hour call with no minimum time, and we use our hourly tiered, 2 at $60 an hour equals 120. Now, if we go back to our hourly tier and update our straight time to say we have a minimum time quantity of 4 for this specific tier. We don't have a minimum time quantity for overtime or double time, simply for straight time. When we go back to this area and here, and the next time we use this specific pricing tier, for a graphics operator, hourly tiered, it's going to calculate straight time at a minimum of 4 hours at $60 an hour for $240. Now you'll notice that there are quite a few different tiers that we've created or pricing models in our QA environment. You may have specific pricing models that you don't want to apply to specific call or labor skills, as an example. If we open up graphics operator and go to the pricing area, we could say there are only 2 tiers that apply to this specific role. And so now when we put that in there, and we've got quite a few here, so it'll take me just a second to remove all these. Now when we go back to add this skill, as an example, when we drag that in, the element is defaulted, or this specific job is defaulted as a day rate. And we could have a price for a day rate. But if we wanted to override this, we could select hourly tiered. So that reduces the amount of applicable rates that we want to apply to a specific skill. Now, the other question might be, what happens if we have 2 different labor resources on this job? The example is maybe your A1 operator is your own internal person and they don't use a minimum hours, but you've got a union A2 that needs to be there that has a minimum time. Well, the way we would handle that is you would create multiple tiers, and you might have an hourly tiered for your person, and you may have a pricing model based off of a specific time rule based on a specific union. So as an example, maybe Local 16 has their own rules for how you bill them out. So now you have 3 different options for this graphics operator. If we use them for a day rate, let's say day rate, we charge them $600 as a day rate. So if we choose a day rate, it'll calculate that back, and we would probably want to use that to not calculate time. But if we change the hourly tiered to this rate with the minimum, and this Local 16 has a 4-hour minimum also. So let's go back to our hourly tiered and say this does not have a minimum. So this way you can have multiple call times using very specific rules and assign those rules to each specific role. And this way we can support the ability to charge minimum hours for a specific role and not charge minimum hours for another one based on who you're getting this specific labor resource from. If you have any questions on how to configure these specific pricing models, please contact support at flexrentalsolutions.com, and they will be able to help configure these with you.